Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. We are going to look at ways of opening the heart and feeling joyful today, and most of those will involve the neck and shoulders and upper chest, chest and upper back. So for our practice today, we're going to use a belt or a length. We don't need it to be super wide today. So you might use just a nice long tea towel or a scarf, or if you happen to have a yoga belt, we're probably going to use it primarily folded over. And the other thing that I have to hand to help with our practice today is a brick-shaped block. But I have to say that anything would be useful here. So you can use a block like this, which gives you several different ways to hold it, or you might use it might use a cushion or a ball or something like that, just something to give you a little bit of space. We're going to put it on the side of the body. So I'm just going to pop that down there for now. And we will begin by sitting towards the front of our seats so that we sit nice and tall, unaided by the chair back, resting the hands wherever they're comfortable, finding that sense of inner lift. So a gentle, perhaps gentle engagement of the belly muscles, no rigid or forceful feelings, but organizing the body upright. And when you feel able, you may close your eyes or gaze gently downward. Either of these is fine. We're going to spend a moment in stillness, observing our bodies, our thoughts, our breath, our mind. Just making note of how you feel in this moment, how you feel emotionally, how you feel physically, how your breath is behaving. There is no right or wrong in this. There's no right way to feel, no right way to breathe. We're simply observing ourselves in this moment. And making note of any areas that need some TLC, any areas of the body that feel stiff or sore or uncomfortable. Working with compassion in those areas throughout our practice. Our thoughts and our minds are often drawn to the more negative or upsetting or uneasiness in the body. So those things that stand out in that way. So having noticed all of those, try to also become aware of at least one space in the body that feels peaceful, tranquil, and at ease. Notice how in switching your focus to this more easeful part of the body, it creates a sense of ease that ripples out from center, touching other parts of your body, but also into your thoughts, into your emotions, into your breath. And we can enhance this sense of ease with a long, deep breath. So when you're ready, you can begin to breathe a slightly longer, slower, deeper breath in, and a longer, slower, deeper breath out, perhaps just gently engaging the belly muscles to exhale fully. Relaxed in the belly to breathe deeply in, filling the back, the chest, the shoulders. And a deep breath out. A deep breath in, filling the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the collarbones. And a deep breath out. Engaging to exhale fully. Soft to breathe in deeply. Let the breath lift you tall. And as you exhale, softening your shoulders and your face. Engaging the belly. A long deep breath in to fill the body with energy and prana. Vitality. Ready for action. And a final releasing breath, just to let go of anything that doesn't serve this practice. Allow your breath to fall into its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. And we will begin by drawing the chin towards the chest, easing some length into the back of the neck. And then rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder, lifting the chin perhaps a little. Chin back to chest, and left ear to left shoulder. And chin to chest. Going from side to side for anyone who does not enjoy this practice, finding a different way to move your neck that feels good to you. We're just exploring the spaces. One more time. And then finishing with the chin towards the chest, giving yourself a little smile and lifting the head to an upright position, blinking the eyes open if they've been closed. And we can free the arms and roll the shoulders a little. Oh, now we worked really hard on shoulders in the first class, and we are going to do some work in that direction in this class. So right now, rolling the shoulders just feels amazing. We're going to go the opposite way as well. Very good. And then just resting the arms down. So we can do as much of this class sitting down as you choose. So for those who enjoy the stability of a seat, feel free to take your seat whenever you feel it would be appropriate. And for those who like to do things standing up, you can, of course, stand up whenever you're ready. I am just going to move this block off my mat, and we're going to do a little bit of action for our feet before we come to standing. So looking at your feet or feeling into your feet, you can wriggle your toes around to begin with, it helps if you wriggle your fingers for some people as well. Just to get a sense of mobility there. And then we're going to press the big toes down as we lift all the other toes up off the floor, and then take the other toes down as we lift the big toes up off the floor. So we're going from one to the other, big toes down, other toes up, other toes down, big toes up. And as you switch from side to side, be aware that if your toes don't move very much, or if you're not quite getting the toes away from the floor in exactly this manner, it doesn't matter as long as your intention is in that direction and the effort of the body is in that direction. Over time, it becomes easier. And with a little bit of concerted practice over several days, you'll be amazed the progress you can make. We'll do one more. And then resting the feet down, just giving the heels a little lift, toes a little lift. Heels up, toes up. Heels up, toes up. One more, heels up, toes up. We're going to slide ourselves back into our seat so that the thighs are supported on the chair itself, and we can reach the legs away from the floor to circle the feet at the ankles. And if you like to, you can sit up so that you're pressing the upper body back into the chair and firming the belly muscles as well. And we can go the opposite way too. Aces. And if that feels good, we just do a little bit more of pointing the toes and flexing the heels. So free from the floor, we get this nice movement through the ankle. And it's really good to mobilize the ankle before going into standing. It makes the foot much more responsive. and makes it easier for us to maintain our balance and steadiness on our feet as well. When we're ready, we can relax the legs down. We're going to hold on to the sides of the chair or the back of the chair, if you like, in some way to stabilize the upper body. And we're really going to firm the belly muscles. And then we're going to lengthen one leg and release, and then lengthen the other leg and release. So we're just going from side to side, trying to keep the upper body nice and firm. You don't have to pause in between. You can make it a continuous movement, one leg extending as the other bends. That firmness in the upper back to hold onto the chair, and firmness in the belly as well. For those who would like to try it, you can do this with both legs at the same time, a little bit more demanding, but well worth it, particularly if you can manage. You can do this with the toes pointed or with the feet flexed. And I like to alternate a little bit between the two. Very good. Let's do two more. So if you're doing alternate sides still, you can still do two more. And then rest the feet down, relax the upper body. Just notice how much work you had to do to help stabilize. And we're shifting forward into our seats so that the feet find the floor and the knees are directly over the feet. And then here we're ready to stand up. So we're going to come into our standing position in our progressive movements. So firming the belly. We first begin with a light little shift forward, just to lift the buttocks slightly from the chair. Little shift forward. You can use the arms for a little bit of momentum, or you can choose to just use the legs. Little shift and lift and release. We're trying to do it with the power of the legs if we can, using the arms if we need to. Take a rest. So we want to make sure we've got enough of the buttocks and maybe a little bit of the upper thigh on the seat, so that we know that when we come to sit down, we're definitely going to hit the seat. We're not going to miss it in any way. Helps to give us confidence to do this next movement. And if you need to, you can place your chair against a wall or against another piece of furniture that prevents it from moving backwards if you're at all unsure. So we're going to firm the belly and sit tall, and then we're going to come forward to try and float onto the feet, buttocks a little bit lifted from the seat, and then release back down again. So a little float forward, the knees are quite bent here, and releasing down. Let's do two more. Reaching forward and releasing, tummy muscles nice and firm as the legs power up, and release down. And now, hopefully, you can really feel the effect of beginning to strengthen those muscles in the legs. And we're going to stand all the way up, but in those stages. So firm in the belly, reaching forward to float first, and then stand all the way tall, opening the body. Now, if you like to here, you can let your hips come a little bit forward. You might open the arms nice and wide, and then we're going the opposite way. We're reaching the hands forward, reaching the tailbone backwards to gently sit lightly into the seat again. Arms relax, and we can begin. Firm in the belly, reaching forward, the buttocks float up, and then we press into the legs to stand all the way tall, opening the front of the body, and then coming all the way back, reaching the hands forward as the tailbone reaches back, bending the knees to lightly sit into the chair. And as you do this, just remember that you moving slowly in this way is really empowering. It's much more effective than moving quickly. You're controlling the movement all the way up and all the way down. Just being aware of how it feels. If you feel anything twinging or uncomfortable, simply stop, rest, or you might already know of a different way to modify, or if not, you can ask me at the end of class. So here we're going to stand up and stay standing up for our next movement. So reaching forward, standing all the way tall, and then here we're simply floating the arms down to the side. Give yourself a little dancing shoulder, dancing hip, just to loosen off anything that feels like it needs loosening. And if you would like to, you can shake out the legs. Remember, you can always hold on to your chair back for support as you're doing that. I think it's about time to lose the jumper for me. So I'm going to pop that to one side. Obviously going to get it back for relaxation. And I'm also going to move my chair a little bit out of the way, but that's entirely up to you. If you don't need to move your chair, you don't have to. You might move yourself instead. Excuse me. So we're going to standing, ready for our Kati Chakrasana movement. So we want the feet to be nice and firm on the floor, but wide apart to give us a nice broad stance, soft in the knee, firm in the belly, and then we just gently twist a little from side to side. And here we want to begin loose. So we don't need to do a big movement, but we want it to be nice and relaxed. The hips quite happy to turn a little bit with the movement, maybe the head to follow the movement as well. The shoulders and arms really loose, wrapping around the body wherever they happen to be, and tapping perhaps just at the end of that twisting movement. The tapping is quite useful, it's quite energizing, and this sense of tapping is common to lots of Eastern disciplines. We're beginning to understand how effective it is in the West, along with lots of other techniques, of course. When you've done a little like this, you might like to pivot on your toes, so you don't have to do that. But that as an option is always available. You can leave the feet still if you prefer. And remember, you can always keep your head centered if that helps you to not feel too dizzy as the result of our practice. For those who would like to, you can add also a soft bend in the knees in the center, a bend and twist. You might slow your movement down to be able to do that. You might touch the opposite shoulder in front of you and the opposite hip behind. And of course, you can move a little quicker if you feel confident, as long as you're not going to wobble yourself over. This is fine. Nice and firm in the belly muscles as well. When you're ready, we're going to come back towards center by losing the bounce, simply pivoting. And then we're not stopping, but we're bringing the feet back to center. And we're going to try firming the belly and the legs, keeping the head and the hips still, and just letting the upper body twist from side to side. So we need to be quite forceful here in the legs and the belly muscles, and perhaps a little bit more determined in our arm movements. And that tapping that we're doing might be a little bit more forceful as well. This movement happens a little bit higher up the spine, which means that we get to mobilize that particularly stiff part of the spine that we find sometimes as we travel through life. Gets a little bit stiffer across the thoracic, the back of the rib cage, and the cervical spine. Whenever you're ready, you can just slow your movement down, let it become a bit more loose until you sway back to center. And as you come to center, standing tall to find that space, filling the space that your body can hold, and reaching the arms down, lengthening the crown of the head up, gaze gently downward or close the eyes, and just take a moment to feel the effect of your practice. A deep breath in and sighing out. And then when you're ready, you can blink the eyes open. And we're just going to roll the wrists a little bit. So, as I said, you can do this part sitting down if you like to. When we're rolling the wrists one way, and then we're going to go the other way. If you're standing up, you can do anything else you like with your body. You don't have to hold yourself in stillness if you don't wish to. And then we can bring the thumbs into the center of the palms, wrap the fingers around, and do the same wrist rolling. Now, if you want to here, you can move with your arms, or you can keep your arms nice and steady and still. Doesn't matter which of these you choose. Rolling the wrists the opposite way as well. And then we're going to release, just give the arms a little shake. As we loosely shake the arms like this, the shoulders lift and lower, and that's good for us. Very good. Okay, so we are going to come to using the chair for support. Only if you wish to. So I would like you to have it to hand just in case, but we're going to stand with one arm very comfortably close to the chair, so that it's nice and supportive, and the other arm nice and free, and we can roll the shoulder of the arm that's furthest away from the chair. In this case, it's my left arm. So we're rolling the shoulder, and we're just trying to find a range of movement that feels good. So we're not trying to get to any particular place. It's just what feels good. We can try that with the elbow, making a circle with the elbow so we get a bit more space underneath the arm. It's really useful for us to open the space under the arm. It's got lots of lymph nodes there. It helps us to support our immune system by moving the arm in this way. If it feels good there, we can try lengthening the arm so the whole arm moves and the body moves as well. And perhaps at this stage, it's nice to allow your head and chest to follow the movement of the arm, holding onto the chair for support, using a little action across the belly muscles just to keep the spine lengthened and lifted. And we'll do one more in this direction. Rest your arm to your side, and then rest the other arm also down, and just take note of how those are the different sides of the body feel. And if you were sitting down, of course, you don't need to hold on. So you perhaps don't have a sensation quite as pronounced as if you were holding on. Who knows? And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you can simply turn yourself around, or you might have two opportunities to find support. And we'll do the other side. So we're rolling the shoulder. We want to roll in the same direction. So I'm rolling forward, up, back and down. But if you rolled the other way, make sure you do it the other way on this side as well. Just feeling, is the shoulder different? Does it behave differently? Does it feel differently? If it feels okay to roll in the shoulder, you can try making those circles with your bent elbow, finding a little space underneath the arms. And every time we're moving with our bodies in this way, opening the chest, we create a sense of inner joy, even if we're not aware of it. It is there. If you wish to, you can extend your arm to make the movement with your whole arm, and you might find that your body likes to join in here so that you move your head and chest as the arm moves. It's a little bit more supportive for the action of the shoulder, but it also involves more of the body, so it's really nice. Helps to open the chest. A little lift in the belly muscles here, just for support. I feel like we should do one more. And then resting this arm to your side and the other one as well. Feeling, do I feel balanced? Is there one that behaves differently from the other? There's no right or wrong answers, of course. It's just how you feel in this moment. We're going to gently lift the shoulders and let them drop. Lift the shoulders and let them drop. Let's do one more. Lift the shoulders and drop. Perfect. Oh, excuse me. So all of this movement across the chest is obviously moving stuff around inside my chest as well. So here, either sitting or standing, find your tall position. And then with the arms nice and relaxed and shoulders nice and relaxed, turn your head to look in one direction and just see. We're not trying to get very far, but just see where you naturally come to with ease. And then we're going to come back to the center and do the same thing on the other side. Just seeing where you naturally get to with ease. And back to center. And now we're going to take our belts and we're going to use them. I'm just going to pop my little chair off my mat a little bit to give me some more room. And you could be sitting or standing, it doesn't matter which. If you've got a different thing to lengthen with, use your different thing. And we're going to try to keep the belt taut. So we want to be actively pulling the belt slightly and lengthening the arms slightly as well. So we don't want to lock the elbows absolutely straight and end up with strain across the elbow joints, but we do want to find length in the arms and find length in the belt, so that as you do this, you can feel the muscle activation across your shoulders and maybe even your back and your chest. That is the plan. And then here, we're going to take the belt to wherever feels good and just gently draw it from one side to the other. And we are trying to keep the arms long and that pull on the belt as we go from one side to the other. A little lift in the belly muscles, maybe a little softness across the knees to help the rest of the body stabilize. When you've done a little bit with the belt up at chest height, you might move the belt down a little and do it from side to side, trying to keep the arms long and that tautness of the belt. And when you've done a little at the bottom from side to side, you might bring your arms up a little higher and go from side to side as well. And it could be a twist, or it could be a sway, or more of an arcing motion, keeping that activation in the muscles throughout. And then we're going to bring ourselves back to center and just drape the belt around your neck. Let your arms relax. Give your hands an opportunity to relax as well. It's great for strengthening the hands to hold on to something for grip, but we also need to lengthen the other way. So wriggle the fingers, maybe wriggle your shoulders, wriggle the sides of the body, wriggle the hips. Make any movements that feel good. And then we're going to come back to using our belts. So we can do the same thing, but move the hands further apart or closer together on the belt. So you might start, it doesn't matter how you start. You might start with your hands closer together, again, doing a little bit of side to side motion. Doing side to side low, taut the belt, make the belt taut, keep your arms long, and side to side high. It's different with the arms closer together or hands closer together. And then we can come back to center and try it with the arms a little bit further apart. Just see how that feels. Coming across around about chest or shoulder height to begin with, perhaps. And then maybe a little bit lower. Nice long arms, taut belt. And also a little bit higher. And then we're going to take another little rest. So we're resting the arms down, belt in place as a nice handy accessory as we wiggle our hands, roll the wrists, wiggle the shoulders, wiggle the hips. And you can see that you could do this quite easily sitting down as well if you needed to, or if you prefer to. So now we have the opportunity to move in a different way with the belt. And we're just taking our intuition and working with it. So you might widen and narrow your hands as you go, or you might decide that you just like it in a particular place. But here we take the opportunity to move with the belt through space in any way that feels good. So we're trying to keep that tautness of the belt and length of the arms, but we can move the body in any way that feels good. So you might like a little bit more side to side, opening up the sides of the body if that feels good. You might like to do figure of eights, almost like a rowing motion, drawing the belt down on one side and then up and down on the opposite side. I imagine this is what kayaking or kayakers might practice. I haven't done kayaking for a little while. Lovely stuff. And it's quite nice because we get to lengthen the back of the body and then the other side. So lengthening sides and back of the body, but equally, you might just lengthen the sides of the body. You might open the belt behind the body to open the chest a little over the head. You can bend your knees and bring your belt down and up and down and up. Anything you choose, as long as you're keeping the belt taut and the arms long, but not locked. When you've done a few more actions that feel good, then taking your opportunity to wrap the belt around the back of the neck and relax the arms down to the side. Give yourself any wriggly movements that feel good. Nice wriggly fingers, wriggly shoulders and hips as well. Shaking out the wrists if that feels useful as well. And then we're going to dispense with the belt because we don't want it to be, excuse me, we don't want it to be in place when we come to move our necks again. But then coming to standing upright with relaxed shoulders, and just see from here if you can turn your head maybe just that little bit further round with ease and comfort without trying or pressing too far, coming back to the center and doing the same on the other side. And returning to center. And so rolling the shoulders. If you didn't notice a difference this time, don't worry about it. Maybe next time you will. But we're trying to offer a little bit of stability and strength to the upper back, which helps the neck to free us back some movement, because stiff necks are things that people often ask me about. So here we are today. So we can come to doing something slightly different for the body, and then we'll come back to the upper body again. Apologies, my clothing is as usual, walking in all manners. I would prefer it didn't, but anyway, it's fine. So we're going to come to our chair to do a downward facing dog. After all of that movement with the spine, it will help us to realign the spine and also gives us an opportunity to stretch out the back of the body. So hands onto the seat and moving your feet back a little bit. So we don't want to lean on the chair, but we want to press down into the chair back with the hands. Let the hips travel back behind the heels, lengthening the tailbone, scooping the belly in and drawing the torso down towards parallel with the floor. It doesn't need to be exactly there. We want to lengthen the back of the neck so that we're not lifting the chin to look at the hands and we've not dropped the back of the head, drop the head forward between the arms. So nice and stable here. And here we begin with a little sway of the hips from side to side. So scooping the belly in, just allowing that little sense of sway, pressing down into the arms gently at the same time. And then in the center, we can bend one knee as we lengthen the opposite leg, keeping that sense of lift of the tailbone, maybe finding a sense of length in the muscles at the back of the legs. If you have a laddered back chair like me, you can bring your hands a little lower or a little lower still if you enjoy a stronger sensation or if you just have a little bit more room to move into. We want to keep the neck extended, and you can even look to one side and then the other, finding that sense of length. Whenever you're ready, you can come back to center and walk your hands back up if they've been down. And then from here, look towards your chair and walk your feet in towards the chair back as you stand tall. Just giving yourself a moment as you come upright to allow all of your blood to get back to where it's supposed to be. Not that it isn't where it's supposed to be, of course it is, but so that you feel nice and balanced before you release your hands from the chair. And we'll do a cleansing breath just to bring us back to center. Breathing in, taking the arms around the body and up. Breathing out, drawing the palms together and down into the center of the chest. One more like this. Breathing in and breathing out. Excellent. Relax the arms. Give yourself a little wiggle, wiggling the legs if needed as well, which is nice and handy. And then we're going to come to using our belts in a slightly different way. So you can have your hands as wide apart on your belt as you like, and we want to reach the belt up over the head. So here, getting the belt over the head is more important than how far apart your arms are. So if folded over, you can't get your arms either side of the head as you turn to look from side to side, then widen your belt to allow you to be able to do that. So we're going to start from the belt down in front of the body. We want to again keep that sense of taut in the belt and length in the arms, soft in the knees, firm in the belly. We're going to reach the arms up. Doesn't really matter if they don't get all the way up the first time. We're going to reach them down again, but hopefully because of our other work they will do. This time we're going to reach up and see if we can get them comfortably either side of the head with the hands as close together as feels comfortable for you. And then from here, I'm going to firm the arms on the belt and draw the elbows back and out to the side to touch the belt down to the top of the head, and then reach up and then touch down to the top of the head again and reach up, nice and firm on the belt. This time, if you can, touch down to the back of the top of the head, so a little bit lower, and up. Still firm in the arms, pulling the elbows apart as you bring the belt down and up. This time, if you can, going a bit lower still. If not, that's okay. Just going to wherever you have been to and keep practicing. Lengthening the arms, nice and firm in the belly, bringing the arms down again and up. And this time we're going to take a little rest. So we're going to lengthen the legs, let the arms come down, throw the belt over our necks, and just do a little bit of wiggling shoulders, wiggling hips, and nice wiggling hands as well. So if you need to, you can interlace your fingers and roll the wrists, or you can roll the wrists in our fancy dancey type way in both directions. And then we're going to come back to doing this action again. So it doesn't matter if you're coming to, as long as you're widening the elbows out to the side and they're not coming in front and they're not tipping our hands forward. So widening elbows out to the side to bring the belt down either to the top of the head, the top of the back of the head, the center of the back of the head. You can go as far as your neck, your shoulders, or your upper back, which I will demonstrate, but don't be worried if it doesn't happen for you this time. So we're going to start again with the belt, hands as close as possible, but still wide enough to allow that action of the arms to go up, soft in the knees, firm in the belly. We're reaching the belt up. And here we're drawing the elbows wide. It could be the top of the head, the back of the head, the back of the neck, the top of the shoulders, or a little bit further down. Mine won't go further down unless my arms are wider, and then up again. Widening the hands if needed, elbows opening wide and back, keeping the ribs down, not flaring the rib cage, and then pulling the belt apart as you also lift up. Doing one more, coming as low as you can, and then reaching up. And then we're going to relax the arms down in front of the body. Give our shoulders a little bit of a roll. We are dispensing with the belt for now, so just over the back of your seat. And then rolling the wrists, the hands, wiggling the shoulders, and doing whatever else feels good. Aces. So let us come to using our chair again and then see if we can, having strengthened the upper back, do something which allows us to feel that effect. So we are standing with our chairs. We're going to take the right leg back first, as far as it naturally goes, lengthening both legs to begin with. Check your feet are hip width apart still. You haven't stepped one behind the other. And then we're going to let the hips fall wherever they may, but bend the left knee so it's tracking the left foot. We want the knee to be over the center of the foot, not slightly in or slightly out, but right over the center of the foot. And then we're going to lengthen the leg again. This left arm is going to stay in contact with the chair. The right arm for now can be on the right hip. We're going to roll the shoulder blades towards each other, opening the chest, lifting in the belly, pressing into the right heel as we bend the left knee. If you need to check the position of your knee, you can look down to see. And then here, we want to take that right arm and reach it all the way up and around behind the body and down. And just see how much more comfortable that is than it might normally be. Nice and firm in the right leg, the right buttock, the belly muscles. And let's do one more of these nice, open, beautiful postures. Very good. And then here, we're just going to do a tiny little stretch before we come back to center. So we're going to turn ourselves to face towards the seat and peel the back heel off the floor. And then if you can, easing your heel down. So your leg is now straighter than it was. And you can also ease your front knee forward a little bit. Use your chair for support. If you prefer the back heel to be up a little bit, to come down lower, that's fine. We're looking for a sense of length in the front of the pelvis. You might get that from tucking under or lengthening down into that back heel. Whenever you're ready, you can step forward onto both feet, give yourself a little march in place. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. So we start quite close to the chair, stepping back with the left foot as far as it naturally goes. Lengthen both legs and check your feet are still hip width apart. We want to make sure as we bend the front knee, it comes over the right foot. So check as you bend the front knee that happens, and then coming back to center. Let your hips fall wherever they may. Focus on pressing your left heel, down into the mat. I'm going to bring my chair closer towards me so I'm nice and solid with my right arm. And then we're pressing that left heel down as we bend the right knee. Firm the belly, check your alignment if you need to, and then make big circles with the left arm. And we want those circles to be nice and slow, really focused on using that left leg for support. So it's not all on the right knee. And as we move in our circling arms, we're focused on using the back of the body to really take in that space that we're moving through. As you come back to the center, you might like to just play with the square of the hips, lift your left heel and place it down so it's more facing forwards. We can bend that front knee deeply to get a length into the back calf, or tucking the tailbone under. You might get length into the front of the left side of the pelvis, or you might like to come up a little bit more so it's a little bit more buoyant into the legs, and just play with the tilt of the pelvis or the length of the back leg until it feels like you're doing something useful. Whenever you're ready, stepping the left foot forward, you can march in place for a moment. Very good. And then we're going to do a little bit more. I know it feels like we've done a lot, but a little bit more action. So standing with the chair on the left, we're going to step the left foot towards the chair and the right arm away from the chair. And then we're going to draw the knee and the hand towards each other. Now, it doesn't matter if you can't bring the knee into your chest, but if you can do that, if not, just simply touching or moving in that general direction and then reaching out. So it's a little drawing together the two sides of the body and reaching out. Let's do one more. Super stuff. And then you can turn to the opposite side, or like me, swap your chair to the opposite side. Hopefully your chair's not as heavy as mine. And then we're reaching the right foot towards the chair and the left arm away. And we're drawing the knee and the arm towards each other as we round forward and then releasing long to open up the front of the body. So rounding forward as we bring the leg and hand towards each other and opening up to release long. One more time. And open. And then relaxing the arms down, the legs into place. Give yourself another little wiggle. So I realized that we've got these blocks and we haven't done anything with them, but I did have every intention of doing something, and we shall do it now instead. So we're going to move towards relaxation. We can get rid of our belts. You might like to have your blankets and jumpers to hand. So let me pop those there. And an extra layer on now is probably quite good as we wind down towards relaxation. I love wearing red, but it doesn't do very well on camera, I have to say. And if you need a block underneath your feet, just have it ready to hand as well. So we're going to start with using the block for a little gentle side bend and neck release as well. So we're going to take the block to the right side of the body and hold it towards the right side of the chair or the body if you prefer. So we're gently pressing that block in towards us, and then sitting nice and tall, we're going to reach the left arm over to the right side and then come back to the center. And we can do that 2 more times, reaching up and over, press into your feet as well. Feel that allow you to lengthen out of the base of the spine. You don't need to go far into your side bend. It's entirely up to you. And then here, we're going to come back to an upright position, keeping the block in place, lengthen the back of the neck, and just take the left ear to the left shoulder. So at the same time as we press the block in, we take the neck the opposite way to our side bending. And just take a moment to breathe in and out. Then bring your head back to center, release your grip on the block, just give yourself a little wiggle. Perfect. Do the same thing on the other side. So we start with the block, pressing all the cushion, whatever you're using, pressing in towards the chair or the side of the body. I'm going to shift a little closer because my chair's a little bit wider, so I was closer on the other side. And then pressing into the feet as well, standing tall, sitting tall rather, reaching the right arm over to the left, and then back to the center. The left shoulder nice and relaxed. Not relaxed, but reaching down, reaching over with the right hand and back to center. And one more time, up and over and back to center. And as we come back to center, that right arm is going to relax, but the left arm is still gently pressing the block in. We're going to lengthen the crown of the head and the back of the neck, and then take the right ear to the right shoulder. That should feel really nice, just to release out some of the effort that we've made, create a sense of length. When you're ready, coming back to center, relaxing, releasing your block as well. We can take the block now between the knees rather, and press the knees towards each other. So it doesn't matter if you're using a block or a book or a cushion, something not too heavy, pressing the knees towards each other. We're going to sit really tall and twist to the right. So taking the left hand to the right side, the right hand behind. And we don't need to use the arms, but if you wish to, you can. So a little softness to the shoulders, a lift in the belly and the crown of the head, and then just gently twisting the chest, maybe looking a little bit further around with the head if you wish to, taking a moment to breathe deeply. And exhale deeply. Maybe one more. And then unwinding your head first, releasing your hands, unwinding the rest of the spine, turn a little to the opposite side and back to center. Take a moment in the center just to feel the effect, feel the difference from the two sides, and then we'll do the same thing again. The block is being lightly squeezed. We're sitting really tall, and we're taking the right hand to the left leg, the left hand behind. Here we don't need to use the arms much, but if you wish to, you can. Lengthen the crown of the head up, lift in the belly, and just gently turn the shoulders and maybe the head to the left. Wherever you get to, just taking a deep breath in and a relaxing breath out. And then one more like that. A deep breath in and a relaxing breath out. To unwind, look to the front with your head first. Unwind your arms, your shoulders, your chest, turn to the opposite side and back to the center. And then you can release the block. And we are going to do a gentle forward bend as well. So we're going to take the knees quite wide. So we have the legs to and fro. We can do the knees out to the side now. And we can come forward, but we want to lean forward from the hip. So we don't want to round through the spine and drape ourselves forward and hunch the shoulders. We want to start from upright, feet firm on the floor, leaning forward from the hips. Imagine you're lengthening your tailbone behind you, scooping your belly in. If you can, resting your hands or even your forearms down on your thighs. So you're supported in this forward fold. And then if you'd like to, you can gently sway the chest from side to side, keeping the belly muscles lifted. You might enjoy that. If you don't enjoy that, try coming up a little bit and seeing if that helps. This gentle sway. If you're enjoying it being down, you can go a little bit further down still by sliding the hands down towards the ankles and draping the body forward. And remember that if you prefer, you can always hold stillness in whichever forward bend feels good to you. Relax the back of your neck if you're able to. Take a couple of deeper breaths, enjoying the space between the legs that the body can fold forward into. And whenever you're ready, taking the hands to the tops of the knees, pressing into the hands to look forward, lengthen the spine forward as you come up, trying to hinge from the hips again into an upright position. We are going to bring the feet slightly closer together, just step the heels forward and make the ankles do little circles as the knees and the hips roll in and out. Well, it's the legs and the hips rolling in and out. You can have your knees a little bit closer together if that feels better. You can go the opposite way as well. Very good. And then whenever you're ready, preparing for relaxation. So I was going to try and do that with my toes, but it's not working. So we want to settle ourselves a little bit further back in the seat. Excuse me. Wrapped up in our blankets. It might be that you wrap your blanket right underneath you. I like to do that because this chair is so very hard to sit on for relaxation. And then if you want to, just finding a comfortable spot, shimmying or shuffling as much as needed. We want the chair back to support the back of the body. So allow yourself to really find comfort there and support there. It helps us to switch off the effort of the working muscles from our class and provides a lovely counterpose of itself. The palms can be turned upwards or downwards. Shoulders and legs relaxing. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. I recommend for relaxation, eyes closed. It just helps us to focus a little quieter in the mind. Allows our relaxation to be more effective. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Repeat 3 more times. A deep breath in. As you sigh, let all the effort of practice go. A deep breath in. As you sigh, let your muscles relax. A deep breath in. Surrender your weight back and down into the floor and the chair. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Bring your awareness into your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the space between the eyebrows separating. The area around your eyes releasing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw relaxing. Allow a sense of softness through the whole body as the whole body feels heavy, warm, and relaxed. Allow your breath to fall into a deep rhythm, slow and steady in, slow and steady out. And simply allow your whole body and mind to relax a little deeper with every exhalation. Mm. Gently begin to deepen your breath and bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet, moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling your wrists and your ankles. When you feel ready, take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Stretching out from center into your extremities. Stretching your face and yawn. Stretching one side of the body and then the other if you prefer. And whenever you're ready, gathering yourself back to center, bringing the hands to the center of the chest. Take a moment to sit tall and then bring the chin towards the chest. Give yourself a gentle smile. Know that in this practice, we have created a lifting of spirits, even if you're not immediately aware of it. There will be a lightness to your emotions, to your mood, to your whole self, created by this sense of gentle joy we have blossomed from within. Whenever you're ready, you can raise your head and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining in this class today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.